here, getting ready for the IKF World Muay Thai and Kickboxing Classic right here in Orlando, Florida, at the Hyatt Regency. But that's part of it. The big part of it is this man sitting right here, Mr. Don the Dragon Wilson. He is a multiple time world champion and a movie star. And I tell you, to have him here today is absolutely a privilege. We're going to sit here and talk a little bit about the event. Hope you guys will join in with us and check out some of this conversation and some of the action that's going to be going on this weekend too. For example, on tomorrow, there's going to be about, I don't know how many fights, tons of fights going on tomorrow here at the Orlando Regency Hotel, at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. There will be 50, 60 fights. I don't know, maybe 100 fights tomorrow and another ton of fights on Sunday. I also have my IKF Point Muay Thai and Kickboxing Sparring Tournament happening on tomorrow here at the hotel in another ballroom as well. Mr. Don Wilson, how are you, sir?
Very good, very good. Every day is a good day for me. Every day is a good day.
Yeah, it's so interesting that, every year for the last, 5, 6, 10 years?
How long has this been going on? 20 years, I think it's been going on. Well, I haven't come to every single one because sometimes I'm working and I'm out of town.
Right.
But I've gone to almost all these events that Steve's had.
And it's always a pleasure to see you because you have such a great personality, great attitude. And here's the thing that a lot of people will think that someone who has as many accolades as you have, all the world titles that you've won, all the movies that you've done, that they'll probably be a little stuck up. Not you. Why do you think that is? Why do you think it is? I mean,
Well, I don't really know. I've been in Hollywood now for quite a while, and supposedly everybody's saying that there's a lot of egos there.
Right.
But I haven't really come up against that. I really, the bigger the star, the more humble and the more thankful, the more.
Is that what you found?
Yeah, that's what I found.
Really?
For me, yeah, for me. And I'm talking about that when I first went out there, I would go out to dinner with Jack Nicholson.
Right.
Jack
Nicholson is
yeah.
humble?
Right. Yeah, because that's his persona.
Right.
That's like Madonna. Madonna was the most down-to-earth girl you ever meet. In fact, most of the time she didn't even have the blonde hair. She would have like brown hair.
Wow.
And yeah, she was dating Sean Penn at the time.
Wow.
And my best friend is Chris Penn. And so we would all go out together.
Okay.
So, when you sit with Madonna, like one dinner table, it would be Madonna and Sean, Cher, John McEnroe,
wow.
Tatum O'Neal, and Jack Nicholson.
Wow.
Having dinner.
Right.
Yeah, and it was,
right.
Because all the stars live in Hollywood, I'm kind of like used to it. You see them around. I mean, we all live in the entertainment capital of the world, so we're going to bump into each other every now and then.
Not that big of a deal for you, but it would be a big deal for people like me and so many others.
Well, in the beginning I was impressed. But
who was the most, and let me cut you off, who's the person that maybe made you a little starstruck, right, that you met? Is there anyone that you were kind of like starstruck a little?
Gosh, nobody's ever asked me about this.
No, I'm almost going to ask you something that no one has ever asked.
Okay, starstruck for me would be somebody I looked up to myself.
Right.
And for me, Chuck Norris and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, okay.
Because we came from the same thing. We came from sports.
Right.
And then rose to the top of entertainment.
Right.
It wasn't just the other ones you might have mentioned, other stars like Jack Nicholson. Right. If he didn't do movies, you wouldn't know his name.
Right. Well, for sure.
But Chuck Norris was famous as a martial artist. Arnold was famous as a bodybuilder.
Absolutely.
So I come from the same mold. I was known by people, and I'm have more accolades as a fighter than I have as an actor.
Right.
Sure. I'm at like the low end of the totem pole.
Yeah.
People say, hey, they call me a Hollywood movie star.
Sure.
Well, look, to me, Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise are Hollywood movie stars. Now, they're like sharks swimming in the water.
Right.
I'm like a minnow swimming in a little bit of a fish bowl, a goldfish bowl.
Right.
But I'm still in the water.
Right.
And I'm still a fish.
Right, no doubt.
But I'm not a shark in the big ocean.
Well, no doubt.
And so that's the way I am in Hollywood. I'm successful. I've done 30 movies as a star, and they've all been profitable.
Right.
And I've appeared in probably another 20 movies. So I've been in over 50 movies at least.
Yeah,
I've never even counted.
That's absolutely a lot of moves and stuff. Well, tell me, why do you continue to come back though? I mean, there's something more than just showing up. Why do you continue to come back to the World Classic, in particular the World Classic, to support these fighters and the event?
Well, look, the movie industry is a job. Right. If they weren't paying me what they were, I wouldn't spend 1 minute on those movie sets.
Got it.
A lot of boredom when you're the minimum day is 12 hours.
Right.
Can you imagine the dragon sitting in the same trailer?
Not happening.
Well, unless the money was right, and the money is right.
Hey, you sit like this if the money's right.
But we all know
Right,
I fought for the
yeah,
paydays
right.
of 1974 paydays
Sure.
and stuff. It wasn't about the money in martial arts.
Got it.
So my passion is martial arts, and the slice of martial arts that I rose to the top of was kickboxing.
Right.
So more than anything else, coming to an event like this one, even it's amateur. I'm not coming because I'm going to learn something by the fight.
Right.
It's to contribute, to give back,
Right.
to inspire the other kids,
Right.
and to my friends are all involved, like Brooks, my actual corner man, trainer for many of my fights and years.
Right.
Is
It's amazing.
one of the guys here.
Right.
To be with champions like Johnny Davis,
Oh,
great fighters
thank you.
himself in his
Thank you.
youth,
Right.
and
Right. But I'm not great
to
like
me,
you,
it's fun.
great. See, some people try to tag me with great. I'm not great. I showed a picture, had a picture of me and Mr. Bill Wallace the other day,
Yep.
and showing him, and they were saying, "Oh, two great fighters." I said, "No, one great fighter and human being is." I can't. No. My point is,
That's called being humble,
but
people.
but I wanna
And it's
be-
a rare thing in fighters.
But my thing is, I want to make sure that I separate myself from the really true greats. Right? You were great.
Well, Bill's
those-
what they call iconic.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
right.
when you talk about kickboxing, because he was the first champion,
Right.
and he was undefeated.
Right.
He's like our Marciano,
He
right?
is. He is.
There's,
Right.
Terrio wasn't undefeated, but he's pretty good.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
not undefeated, but I was pretty good.
Right.
Ben Urquidez not well.
Well, kind of, sort of. Right. I know.
Well,
the last fight.
look,
I know.
I just happened, it's unusual,
Right.
but I happened to be at the fight. Billy Jackson, and everybody said that was a loss.
Right.
And I saw the fight. It was a loss. They raised up Billy Jackson's hand, but somehow it didn't end up on the record.
Yeah. Well, he's still a great fighter. I mean,
Yes,
those guys are still great.
First of all, look,
Everybody will lose.
the fight, it's a sport.
Right.
And when you lose, you learn more than when you win. When you win, you go
Every
out and
time.
have a beer and
Right.
celebrate. You forget about the fight.
Don't
But
think
when
about
you
it.
lose,
Exactly right.
if you're like the Dragon, you live that fight over and over in your mind. Well, all the mistakes, the training mistakes,
Exactly.
the errors that you made, you correct them.
Right.
Which means you're a better fighter after that loss.
Every single time.
So whenever you lose, it's a learning experience, and you haven't really lost then.
Right.
Because really, my ultimate goal as a martial artist is to become the best martial artist I can.
Right.
So kickboxing was just part of my martial arts training.
Right.
I could go kickboxing. It's just
Sure,
rules.
sure.
I was a better striker.
Right.
Plus, guys are actually punching and kicking at me.
Right.
High level fighters.
Right.
From 1980 to 2002, I was a champion. So I only fought contenders and other champions.
Right.
So it's a high level of competition for
Sure.
20 years.
Sure.
And that improved me as a martial artist,
Right.
which was my ultimate goal.
Right.
It certainly wasn't to get rich, because there was no kickboxers getting rich.
No, not happening.
Now I'm making better money today.
Better, but not
And,
there.
but
Not
yeah.
there. By a long shot.
Correct.
By a long
Correct.
shot. Right. Which brings me to, a couple of things. I want to have a couple of lines. We're going to be here for a few minutes here, chatting with Mr. Don Wilson. But I want to kind of go and dig into your brain a little bit about a fight that you've had when you were younger, right? And you lost a fight, right? What do you think you said about you learn more from losing than you do winning, right? In the fight that you actually lost, what was the lesson that you actually learned about yourself?
Okay, first of all, I have 4 decisions on my record.
Right.
There were losses. You can ask me if I was a judge.
I know where this is going.
I mean,
I know where this is
okay, it's like there's a mitigating circumstances.
Right, yes.
When you're fighting a guy who is good, I'm not saying they weren't good, all
Right.
4 of them. They
Right.
have wins
Right.
on record by decision.
Sure.
And his manager is the promoter,
Yeah.
and there's no athletic association.
Right.
And you show up at the weigh-in,
Okay.
and he doesn't.
Right.
And the rules are changed minutes before the fight starts.
Sure.
I mean,
sure. Right.
it's not easy to walk away with a win because the guy was good.
I get it.
And you go with 12 rounds.
Right.
So 4 of the losses were decisions with mitigating circumstances.
So what did
Now,
you learn
the
from
one,
those?
the
though?
one I lost though
Right.
was a TKO, and I'm probably glad that Steve Shepard was the rest in peace, Steve.
Yes,
but he was the referee,
Yes.
and he probably saved me a couple of billion brain cells. If he had said fight, yeah, because
Was this happening in Florida? Some of
this
those
was
fights?
in Florida and West
Right.
Palm Beach,
Right.
and I was fighting a guy named Glenn McMorris, who was considered a tune-up.
Right.
He had the worst record of any fighter I entered the ring.
Wow.
Now, I used to give seminars, and I'd say the worst fighter I ever fought knocked me out in the first round.
Right.
But I don't say that now because I don't know if he's the worst fighter.
Sure.
He had the worst record, though. He had 9 wins, 6
Right.
losses.
And you totally underestimated.
Well,
Just a guess.
Well, I thought he knew.
Never
He read
underestimate
the
your
script.
opponent.
I thought he had read the script. The script says he goes down in 3. Because what happened was I was the #1 contender for the PKA.
Right.
And they said, this is a tune-up battle on ESPN. Your next fight will be against Bill Wallace
Wow.
on CBS.
Wow. Okay.
That was the game plan.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh.
So, no, actually, it was not Bill Wallace. It was Johnny Terrio.
Oh, Johnny.
But anyway, because Bill had already retired.
Right,
Bill
right,
retired, and
right.
then his title was open.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so I'm going to have a tune-up.
Right.
So the bell rings, and I remember he's moving around. I'm moving around. Nobody's hit anybody. And I thought, oh, this kick will look good on ESPN. And I noticed that was my thought. That was my strategy.
Right.
Throwing a kick that looked good on ESPN.
Right.
In the middle of that, he was nervous. He jumps in with the right hand, hits me right on the chin.
Ooh.
I go down so hard that when I get up, there's like a little blood coming in my eye.
Oh, my
and I
goodness.
stood up and I immediately yelled at the referee. He headbutted me.
Oh.
Now I tell all
Another
young,
kind of fight,
I
right.
tell all young fighters,
Right.
when you get dropped and you get up, keep your mouth shut.
Right.
Because whatever comes out ain't going to help
It's
you.
not going to be right.
Because what coming out of my mouth was something so ridiculous that Steve said, you thought you got headbutted?
Oh, my God.
He just stopped the fight. He just knew
Wow.
I was out.
Wow.
Because
wow.
what refs will do a lot of times is
Right.
they'll say, where are you?
Right.
And they mean Atlantic City,
Right.
the Tropicana, Madison Square Gardens. But they don't.
Right.
They don't.
Don't necessarily mean
No,
that
when
on
you-
Hawaii. I'm in Hawaii right now on the beach.
When you think that you were headbutted. Anyway, he stopped the fight.
Right.
So that was a
Right.
TKO.
Right.
So I now Glenn McMorris's record is 10 wins, 6 losses. He's got another win, 10 over me.
Right.
And he comes up to me after the fight. He says, Mr. Wilson, thank you for giving me a shot.
Right.
It was for the U.S. title. I was the
Right.
PK U.S.
Right.
champion.
Right.
And he is now the U.S. champion. He goes,
Wow.
I'll give you a shot, a rematch
Oh, my
before
God.
the end of the year.
Right.
But he says, I'm going to have some tune-ups. Now, I didn't want to negotiate a fight at the time.
Right.
So I said, yeah, Glenn, whatever.
Sure,
Thank
sure.
you very much. So I go away. He has 3 fights. He has knocked out 3 times in a row.
Oh, that's that.
Now his record is
Right.
10-9.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, when you get knocked out, any fighter gets knocked out 3 times in a row,
Right.
hang up.
That's it.
Hang up
Right,
your
right,
gloves, because
right,
something's wrong.
Right.
And what
Right.
happened was
Right.
every fighter that he fought wanted to be the guy that knocked out Don Wilson.
Exactly.
So he fought Terrio. What do you think Terrio did to him?
It killed him.
And I
Right.
think maybe Brady McCallum, I
Right.
think.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, but he fought 3 tough guys. He got knocked out 3 times, and he never fought again. But to this day, no matter what I accomplish in my life, Glenn McMorris could do an interview with Johnny Davis.
Right,
He says,
yeah.
Johnny, I met the Dragon, knocked him out in the first round. And he wouldn't be lying.
And listen,
He would not be lying.
hey, listen, somewhere
Man.
in this guy's office, wherever he is or wherever he's living, he has something
Picture
up,
of
a
me.
picture of you
With me laying down.
Right, probably standing over you like Muhammad Ali
Well, I
over
got
Sonny
back up.
Liston.
I got back up. It was like he knocked me down. I got back up. But
Right.
of course, I thought
Right.
I got up and
Right.
thought I'd been headbutted.
Right.
Wow.
Right. But listen, guys, let me say this, take a little pause. You're watching Johnny Davis Live here. We're speaking with multiple-time world champion and movie star, Mr. Don the Dragon Wilson here in Orlando, Florida, here at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. Look, we're here for the IKF World Class. It's going to be a great weekend of fights, a great weekend of action here. I hope you guys, check out some of the stuff that's going on. I'll be posting some fights and things like that coming up. Also want to remind you about the 9th annual IKF East Coast Classic coming up October 8th through the 10th in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina at the Landmark. Remember also that I'm promoting my first professional fight on that weekend, and we're going to talk about that right now because I am doing 9 rounds of fighting. When have you heard?
You are going to fight?
I'm not fighting, but,
Oh.
but let me tell you what I'm saying is that I believe the game, we got it a little twisted. From a 12-round fighter to a 12-round fighter.
They shorten the rounds now.
These
They-
5
for
3-minute
3 and 5s.
rounds are wrong.
Would you want to see Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier go 5 rounds?
I am trying to tell you,
Marciano would have had a losing record, by the way.
Don.
He would have had a losing record first 5 rounds.
we have it wrong in
Yeah,
our
yeah.
sport, and I'm going to change it. Let me explain. So, and people who've been watching my show have heard me talk about this many, many times over, and I want to talk about it again with a champ here, somebody who has done it and understands why I'm pushing more rounds. A boxing match. A world champion boxing match has 36 minutes of fighting. We're talking about spectator appeal here. We're talking about, fans.
We're listening to
Right.
the sport, though, not
Yes.
even the spectators. in the sport
Yes.
to establish who's the best. 15 rounds. Now,
Right.
Marciano
Right.
would not probably have had a winning record.
Right.
I'm pretty sure of it.
Right.
He would not even had a winning record if he fought 3 rounders.
You see what I'm saying?
Marciano.
Exactly. Right.
Many times he was down. The championship rounds, they call them, are the last 5 because usually only the champion fights 15 rounds.
Exactly.
They already shortened it to 12.
Exactly.
Now, 12, I still say, yeah, we do prove who's
Yeah.
the best.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of pros, top 10 fighters, will fight 10 rounders.
Right. Yeah.
And then they fight a 12-rounder only once in their life
Right.
for the title, unless they win.
Oh, sure.
But no, to establish who's the best in this sport, I believe minimum is 12 rounds. And then
Absolutely.
you
Oh my
can't
God!
start.
Did you see this endorsement
Yeah.
right? Did you see this
Yeah.
endorsement right there coming from
It's
the
not
one
easy fighting
and the
12.
only? No, it's not. And
It
we're
is.
talking about. Listen, I'm not talking about 3-minute rounds. I'm talking about the 2-minute rounds.
Well,
And
we're
the bottom-
kicking though.
Yeah,
We're kicking.
I
as well.
understand we are
Yeah.
kicking,
So
but,
we're
but,
burning energy.
but the
burning energy.
philosophy, Don, is backwards because, as I was going to say, a boxer fights 36 minutes in a 12-round fight. Listen, MMA, they fight 25 minutes, 5-minute rounds. That's 25 minutes of entertainment for the customer. Then you have kickboxers in today's time, whether it's Muay Thai, whatever the style, fighting 5 3-minute rounds. That's 15 minutes. Do the math. That's less entertainment. Why are we dumbing down our sport
Yeah.
and not
Let's
showing
put
the
it this way.
athleticism
Let's put
of
it
our
this way.
fighters?
Let's put it this way.
Right.
They did that, right? And because of the competition of MMA. And,
Right.
And the thing of it is because MMA is just shorter fights.
Right.
My opinion is they diluted the kickboxing
Do you hear
And-
this, guys? Do you hear this?
and they took the
He is trying to
strategy
tell
out of
you.
it.
Do you
'Cause
hear
there's-
this?
In 12 rounds, there's a lot of strategy involved. In 3 rounds, it's actually a 2-round fight. You win the first 2 rounds, the last round you can just run.
Exactly.
You won 2-1.
Exactly right.
It's not the determination of who is best.
It does not. And
Yes,
these things
no.
it's like
No.
a sprint. I see these 5-round fights. As soon as I'm getting into the fight's over. I'm like, you got to be
Would
kidding
you?
me.
Let me ask you
Right.
this: would you have wanted to see Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali fight a 3-rounder,
Right.
and then you decide
I'm not-
one of them's a winner, one's a loser
Right.
within 3 rounds?
Can't do it.
No, it's not.
Not who's the best, because best has a lot. It's not just physical.
We even let those
Right,
guys
right.
fight 3 times to figure it out.
I'm just trying to
Because
tell
one
you.
won once,
Right.
one won the other. You
Right.
got to have the third one.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we got to get back into more rounds. So Don, so you'll know, I'm promoting my first pro card, as I just said.
Yeah.
I'm doing 9-round fight.
Good.
A 9-round fight, paying the guys a little bit more money
Good.
than the normal standard, because I need to make an impression here. I need
Yeah.
to let people know that it's time to get back to our rounds,
Yeah.
so that we can show, right, just how talented
Well, you know
and
what?
how much athleticism
Yes,
we have.
there's more. It's like if the only run was a 50-yard dash.
Right.
That's it.
What
50-yard
does that
dash.
prove? What does that prove? What does that prove?
Well,
Don, speaking of fighting,
Yep.
I heard a rumor.
it's true.
That
It's true.
I heard
Every
that
rumor
Don the
coming out of
Dragon
Hollywood is
Wilson
true.
was talking about fighting again.
But listen,
tell me about that. Tell
okay,
me
I'm
what's
going to tell you. I'm going to tell you because it's very recent. It's very recent.
Right, right.
This actually is the first time I've done an interview where I've really explained it.
Right.
But they have started a new thing. Mike Tyson
Yes.
started a thing called Legends.
Yes.
And the concept is, will pay-per-view audiences pay to see not the greatest heavyweights, the
Right.
greatest light heavyweights,
Right.
but just 2 guys with names that used to be something?
Yeah.
Would they pay? And they will.
They
when
will pay.
Tyson did the Roy Jones, they paid. When Mayweather did because mixing boxing with MMA,
Right.
boxing match with Conor McGregor, it grossed $300 million.
Right.
That's not small change.
That's not small change.
I was with Mayweather right after that. We were in Chechnya together.
Right.
Had dinner.
Right,
And
nice.
he put $200 million in his pocket and $100 million in Conor McGregor's pocket.
Wow.
$200 million. We're not
More-
talking about $2 million.
More money than you and I
Now,
paid in
now
our
I'm going to
lifetime.
explain something
Right.
to anybody who's not a pro fighter.
Right.
Any pro fighter
Right.
who watched that fight knows Mayweather carried him.
Well, of course.
First of all, Conor McGregor started his martial arts as a boxer.
Right.
He was an amateur boxer.
Sure.
And I don't want to say anything bad about him.
I get it. I
but
get it.
listen,
Right, right,
I'm not
right.
talking he's Olympic champion.
Right.
He's not like a professional boxer of any kind. Never
Right.
had one pro fight.
Right.
He was a boxer in Ireland. He put on some gloves,
Yeah.
golden glove.
Yeah,
He never won
yeah.
a golden glove anyway.
Right.
But he was a boxer. Okay. So now his first boxing match, he's fighting Mayweather, who is Sugar Ray Leonard, one of the best.
Right.
ever.
Yes. He is.
Best of all time.
Regardless of what you think about
Well,
him.
regardless,
He is.
listen, you don't
He's
like his
tough.
style because he didn't fight like Marciano.
Right,
He's not
right,
taking
He's a
punches
small
and giving
fighter.
them.
Right.
He didn't get hit. He
Right,
didn't get people
right,
doesn't like that.
Right.
They were, Some people didn't like my style because people didn't bounce shots off my head.
Right.
But he's promoting the fight, by the way.
Right.
And if anybody's noticed, he didn't just get 200 million and quit.
Right.
He's smart. He says, if I make a show of this, I can do another one.
Absolutely.
But if I knock McGregor out in 30 seconds, it's
never happen again.
Now, McGregor fights with his chin out, his beard like
yeah.
Trust me, fight fans, if Mayweather made his mind and said, you're going down, whatever round he had made his mind up, it would have happened.
Exactly.
Because when he finally did make his mind up was in the later rounds.
It was over.
But here's what happened.
Right.
I saw that he had a problem. He had a problem that we in the martial arts, we have a style of fighting.
Right.
The Kung Fu people do.
Yeah.
It's called drunken monkey. Now, the belief of that is this. If you fight like you don't know where you're going to go, how can your opponent figure out where you're going to go?
Exactly.
If you stumble this way, then you stumble that.
Right.
That's what McGregor did. He was stunned.
Right.
So when Mayweather, and he was running from Mayweather, he was bouncing off the ropes.
Right.
Mayweather was chasing him. When he made his mind up, it looked difficult. Not difficult in that he was getting fired back on.
Right.
It's just they couldn't hit the moving target.
Exactly.
Because he was stumbling, drunken monk. It was drunken Conor McGregor.
Right.
The referee had to step in and just stop the fight because McGregor was doing nothing to defend himself.
Right, he was gone. He was done.
He was not even doing this. He was so out.
Right.
But it was kind of dissatisfied. People didn't like it, and they were so proud the UFC that McGregor lasted 9 rounds.
Of course.
Let me tell you what. Let me tell you what Mayweather did the fight after this.
Right.
He gets a phone call from Japan because the Japanese say, "Look at this terrible amateur boxer.
Right.
We got a Japanese kickboxer that'll knock out Mayweather, knock him out."
Sure.
So Mayweather says yes, and they paid him $8 million.
Exactly.
Mayweather gets in there, bell rings. He's laughing the whole time. If you've seen it, you look like you've seen it.
Yeah.
And he knocks the guy down 3 times.
Just killed
every
him.
punch.
Right.
That he could have done that to Conor McGregor.
Oh yeah.
He could have hunted him down.
Did he carry Logan Paul?
No, I don't believe he did.
You don't think so?
Logan Paul works out my gym.
He's a big dude.
That's what it was.
He's a big dude.
There is a difference. There's a reason we have weight divisions.
Right. Yeah. He's a big
Logan
dude.
Paul is young, first of all.
Right.
Maybe in his 20s.
Right.
He's 200 pounds a month. He's in shape.
He's a big dude. Yeah.
He's big.
Right.
And they have him trained a little bit. And Mayweather did what we.
But he did tell him to take it easy. I saw it. I heard him say that.
We do know that Mayweather didn't get all psyched up and excited. He just thought, hey, look. He said he was better than I thought.
Right, yeah.
That's what happened.
That might be
true. He was better than he thought. So, but you know what he thought was he'd knock him out. Well, the first punch he threw. But the guy was
a big dude.
They're now talking now because you know me. Logan Paul and I would that be a nice fight?
Wow, that would be a great fight.
But
tell me about where are you with the legends?
He would take it though because he would think 66 years old.
Oh yeah, I'll knock
him out. And he's a kickboxer. He won't be kicking me.
Right.
He worked out in my gym.
He's a kickboxer?
No.
Oh, you're a kickboxer.
Look at me and say,
I was going to say, Logan's kickboxer now? No. Let's make that money, Don.
No. He's not going to kickbox.
So tell me what's going on with you and the legends.
So talking about fighting, now we're transitioning into Dragon getting in the ring.
Right.
I've gotten offers. They approached me, the legends and a boxing promoter who wants to promote it separately, because you don't have to go through legends.
Right. Exactly.
Because they found out, what's his name? Logan Paul did his own promotion.
Sure.
And it grossed $65 million. And he fought a former UFC fighter, not a great UFC man. Not what's the guy's name from Canada?
Right. I know you're talking about
Pierre.
Pierre.
He didn't fight him.
Right.
He fought this guy, and he knocked him out in the first 20 seconds.
Crazy.
He hit him not in the chin, because if I get hit, if Johnny and I get hit on the chin, we go out.
Right. Yeah.
We're just humans.
Yeah. Yes.
You're a great fighter, Johnny.
Right.
You were a great fighter. I was a great fighter.
Right.
But if you hit me, even when I was great in the chin, I go to sleep.
Right.
Logan Paul hit the guy on top of the head. He went down. He didn't go to sleep. He popped back up. The referee stopped the fight because they don't want anybody to get hurt. They're not real fights.
Right.
So they say if anybody gets stunned, it's over.
Right.
And the guy was a little stunned. Now, he was paid $500,000.
Wow.
They put the camera on him in the locker room afterwards. He was laughing his head off. He made $500,000 in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, but Don, you haven't been in the ring in a long time, Don.
But if I paid you $500,000,
you haven't been in the ring in a long time.
It's only been 20 years. It was 2004.
Only 20 years.
24. Yeah, it's only been 20 years I haven't been in the ring. But
would you do it?
My opponent, they're talking about first name that came up was Mickey Rourke.
Okay.
Because Mickey Rourke does a little boxing,
Right,
he's got a little celebrity
yeah,
thing. And
yeah.
they figured they two actors
Yeah,
and they got a fan base. And I believe some people might be amused to see that.
Sure.
Mickey has been a friend of mine since 1985.
Okay.
I knew him.
Right.
We had the same boxing trainer, Bill Slayton.
Right. Friend.
And I met him for my first day in the gym. He was there when I went to train with Bill Slayton.
Right.
And so I got nothing against him, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't knock him out.
Right.
But no, I'm saying
we're just fighters, right? That's what we do. We knock out our friends.
No.
That's what we do.
But no. No, listen, I do knock. James Waring is a friend of mine.
Right.
Maurice Smith.
Right. Yeah.
Tree Edwards. Many of my opponents become friends. Now, I'm not saying we were good friends and then we fought.
I get it. Right. I get it. Right.
But I have no animosity. But look, here's what's not in my heart. Is not in my heart is I have no desire to knock out Mickey Rourke. If I was to fight him, if I was to fight him, I would go enough to. If there's not going to be no decisions, they don't have decisions.
It's sure.
But I'm not going to let him dominate me.
I get it.
But if he was disrespectful,
right. I get it.
He's going to get. He's going to get it. If a guy headbutts you on purpose or elbows you, what are you going to do?
Inquiry minds want to know.
Okay,
who's the person they're talking about you fighting?
That was the one. The other is Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Who did you guys hear that?
Now,
talking about him, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and one of those legends.
What was the right name? Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, you guys, come on, right here on Giant Davis Live. You heard it yourself.
No. Here's the thing. About 2 years ago, I was in Kazan.
Okay.
And a billionaire, owns the stadium. I was there making an appearance.
Right.
Kickboxing matches. And he approached me when he paid me for the appearance.
Right.
He said he heard that Jean-Claude and I at one time talked about fighting. And I said, yes.
Wow.
And he said he'd be willing to give me immediately $1 million to put the fight together.
Wow.
So to get Van Damme to sign the contract, the guarantee, I had $1 million. Now, I immediately in my mind calculated this. I calculated offer Van Damme $800,000.
Right.
I'll take $200,000, and that'll be our guarantee. We're going to spend it before we get in the ring.
Right.
Then when we get in the ring, we get a percentage of the pay-per-view.
Wow.
And that's where the real money.
That's real money. Right.
Because people know that we haven't got along since the 1980.
Wow.
Since the Bloodsport.
Wow.
Because he came out then and he said he was a world champion, and I just told the truth.
Right.
I didn't badmouth him. I've never badmouthed
him. Sure.
People ask me, "Do you like his movie?" I said, "Absolutely."
Right.
And I think he's a talented actor.
Right.
This has nothing to do with movies.
But look, could you beat him?
How many times you heard
me? Could you beat him?
Could I or would I? Because
well, could you? Because he's pretty talented. He's got some skills. I guess.
Yes. He's a black belt in Shotokan, and he was a point fighter for Waco. So there's a lot of great martial art. That doesn't mean you're a world champion kickboxer.
I know.
Of course, I know. There's a big difference.
Right.
Now,
I would pay to see it.
Listen, Keanu Reeves does fight movies, right?
Right.
Do you think Keanu Reeves would?
No.
Okay, Keanu Reeves is no different than Jean-Claude because I'm sure he's taken a lot of lessons.
Right.
Jean-Claude does choreographed fights in movies and looks good.
But Don, people will pay to see that.
Well, that's the question.
No, I guarantee you.
But a promoter's got to believe because the guarantee is what the promoter would lose.
Right. Yeah.
If like they get 100 buys.
Right. Yeah. No. People will pay to see but it would have to be a massive promotion.
Yeah. It would. Because the promotion they found out with Conor McGregor, and you don't have to pay for it.
Right.
You don't buy ads on network TV. What you do is you advertise on cable.
Right.
The actual cable broadcast.
Absolutely right.
And they did interviews. Conor McGregor and Mayweather, where they badmouth each other all over the.
Oh yeah. Just put it out there.
Yes, all over the U.S.
Right.
And because the rest of the world was watching it too, so they thought. But let me tell you something. He wrote a check, a good one with cashier check, I'm sure, from $100 million to Conor McGregor.
Right.
Now, if I do that for you,
I'm fighting.
No, but I'm saying, are we enemies? When I write you the check and it says on it $100 million, are we enemies?
No, we're not.
They're not enemies.
We're not enemies.
No,
that's for sure.
Frazier and Ali were friends.
Oh yeah.
When Ali couldn't fight for 4 years, Frazier. I don't know how he heard. I don't. But he thought Ali needed some money. Frazier actually loaned him money.
Right, I know it's crazy. That's good. Well, I mean, listen.
Now listen. How much money did he make with Ali though?
Right, exactly.
Together, without each other, they wouldn't have had as much money.
Well, but that goes back.
I'm not saying they didn't fight their heart out.
Right.
Because I used to joke with Bill Wallace. I was the #1 contender when he was a champion.
Right.
We got one fight off. To fight Madison Square Garden.
Right.
I called up Bill. I said, and we always agreed we'd fight if the money was right. I said, Bill, the money wasn't right for me. Was
Right.
it right for you? And he
Right.
said, no. He said, I myself, he said, it was not right for me. We're not fighting. And I said, but look, I said, Bill, if we ever do fight,
Right.
if we fight,
Right.
I will knock you out as soon as I can so you don't suffer. And Bill said, I will do you the same favor. He will not. Because look, if you're going to get knocked out in 12 rounds, don't beat on me for 11 rounds.
Yeah.
Just catch me clean in round one. At the end, let me go home with my money.
Just, go ahead. Go ahead.
But anyway, that's our attitude. If we would have had to fight, we both would have done our best as friends.
Absolutely.
It's not like Conor McGregor and Habib.
Right.
Where they cut each other's religions down.
Sure, yeah.
Talk about their wives, their children.
Too much.
Ben Urquidez and I talked about it.
Right.
We talked about how they built that fight up and would we be comfortable doing it in our day?
Right.
And I said, no, never. I never said one bad thing about Johnny Terrio.
Right.
I would never say one thing about any of my opponents
wearing. That's also a martial arts.
That's a martial art
thing.
But
that
it's
we
also
have
sports.
this kind of, but I know, but it's kind of missing in MMA. We got to get it's kind of missing now.
But they went the championship wrestling route.
Yeah.
Not only is it not missing, they use bad mouthing to build the fight up.
Yeah.
Insulting.
Right.
Like talking about your mother, talking about your children, talking about your wife.
That's too much. Right.
Well, Benny said, I even though they made money to doing that.
Right.
And we'll watch it this time. I'm gonna be talking about Van Damme's wife and everything.
Oh no.
Right. Listen, even his movies.
Right.
People ask me about his movies. I said I like them. Most of them, I'm a fan of them.
Sure.
Matter of fact, I could say this to Van Damme.
Right.
He did a movie called Bloodsport. I did a movie called Blood Fist. Now I'm not saying it's a ripoff,
right?
But it's a homage. He made his way first.
Okay, yes,
way first.
Right.
It was Roger Corman, a low budget version of Bloodsport.
Right.
And so I'm not saying I owe my whole career to Van Damme, but
I don't know.
No, in a part, yes, he started the revolution where martial art movies showed they could be money makers.
Right.
Bruce Lee died after Enter the Dragon.
Right.
Yes, the studio said, "Wow, this is great," but now Bruce Lee's dead.
He's dead. Right.
So who came up behind him? Chuck Norris.
Right.
So Chuck Norris was working for Canon. He was making money making movies.
Absolutely right.
But Jean-Claude actually made much bigger budget than Chuck and grossed more money.
Sure.
His movies
There's no doubt about it.
And so he kind of lifted it up. And then, tell you the truth, Seagal came in right behind him and did Under Siege, was a huge big hit.
Yeah, he did well.
Yes.
He did well.
Yeah, these movies were called blockbusters. Jackie Chan actually out-topped everybody, though.
I'm sure.
Because Rush Hour made a couple of $100 million.
Yeah, but Jackie Chan is really talented thing. Listen, really quick as we wind down here. How has the COVID been for you? How have you survived?
Well, I've been locked down. Because I was a science major, so I believe in the science. It's not. It's not. If you're a Democrat or Republican,
I believe in the science.
This virus.
Inoculated.
This virus. Me too.
Right.
But this virus is not political.
Right. Doesn't see race. Doesn't see anything.
And I'm not one to believe that there's a secret group of people that want to put chips in me. Like Bill Gates wants to put a chip in me. First of all, Bill Gates doesn't care where the dragon goes.
Exactly.
And, you got some guy who probably didn't graduate from high school saying he don't want Bill Gates to chip him, put a chip in him.
That's conspiracy.
Please. It's just so crazy. It's like, do you believe the Israelis use satellites to start the fires in California?
That's crazy. I mean, so there's a lot of conspiracies.
So anyway,
there's a lot of conspiracies out there. But my point is simply this: is that you survived the COVID. It certainly has changed.
Because I survived it because
how has it changed
I believe in
country?
science.
And how do you think it's changed it for the future?
Well, listen, this is what Obama, last thing he said to Trump was, your biggest challenge is going to be a pandemic. Because Obama dealt with them. He dealt with Ebola.
Yeah.
And I didn't know he did this. Go Google this and see what he did as a president. Talk about decisive, and I don't think we even have treaties that do this. He sent our troops. He sent U.S. troops into Zaire because he didn't trust them to shut the airports down and the hospitals. And
Sure.
We had soldiers in Zaire to stop Ebola. Now, Trump, during that time, somehow Ebola got into the country. 4 Americans died of Ebola. Trump said Obama should be not censured. What is that thing where they kick him out? Remember they tried it twice to Trump. No, I can't remember the
I
term.
know, I know.
You know what the
Right.
political term
Yeah,
where
sure.
you get a president and he's out.
Yeah. I'm just not thinking that
So
way right now. Right,
yeah,
that's fine.
and
Right.
so on Obama's watch,
Right.
we had 4 people die.
Right.
On Trump's, and he dealt with the swine flu and the bird
Right.
flu. And
Right.
he shut him down. He
Right.
stopped him
Right.
because he listened to the science.
Yes.
Trump, president, we had 500,000 dead.
Right.
500,000.
Right. Well, I say, so here's the thing. It's Johnny Davis Live Real Talk. Listen,
I don't wanna get into politics
we don't
because,
want to go
you
too
know,
far with the politics, but I will tell you.
But these
that-
are facts. These
but-
are not. This is
I-
not my
I understand.
opinion.
And listen, and there's a lot of people who have different opinions about what happened. And we have our opinions and stuff, and which is
Yeah,
great.
you're asking. COVID
I-
is real. That's why I treat it like a
It's
real thing.
But isn't it great though to finally be here, right, and to be back without wearing our mask, to be, to be.
Well,
you know,
I'm
feeling-
vaccinated.
Well,
I'm
but me
vaccinated.
too,
So,
but feeling a lot more free, right?
Yes.
To deal with people because
Of course.
listen, we were shut down for
No,
a year.
you were 6 months ago. We wouldn't be here.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So we were shut
No.
down and everything.
But I mean,
and
we wouldn't be
didn't
talking
get a
like
chance-
this because
Right,
I might have
exactly.
gotten COVID. I
Right.
might be spreading it
Yes.
and not even know it.
Right, yeah, exactly. But today that we've come a long way.
No, we're going to beat
And
it.
it's a
We're going to beat
good
it.
thing to be back to doing
Yeah,
our sports
But
again.
pandemics are the
Right.
future.
Right. Yes.
And they're
right.
coming from animals, if you notice, and
Right,
they're coming
yes.
from China.
Yeah, well, right.
They had the swine flu, bird flu.
Right.
Was out of Hong Kong and
Yeah,
stuff.
but we want to
the-
be. But I think it's
Viruses
important.
are crossing from animals to human,
Sure.
and the reason why it's
Right.
all over the world
Right.
is we fly now. In Wuhan I never even heard of that city. And I've been to Beijing and Hong Kong.
Right, yeah.
Wuhan's a little city. People fly there, obviously, because they left, and how long did it take for it all over the world? What about this new variant? There's a new variant.
Yeah, new variant.
It's in every state of America.
Right,
It's
right.
in 50 states now.
Sure.
I mean,
but I think there's a common sense approach with the COVID and everything. I know we took that approach. By the way,
and
everybody
we're
else
going to be careful
but,
here.
but everybody else shut down, right? About a year or so ago, and I found a way. I actually started back in July 2020, and I've done over 1,000 bouts since July of 2020. Not one issue. Now listen, we were doing protocols. We had our temperature checks, our masks. We had all of that all of that. But we're intimate. We're all over each other in kickboxing, Muay Thai, and we didn't have one incident, not one. So my point is that I'm telling you that no known incident, meaning that somebody
You can trace it back to
right. No
caught it at the event.
one came back.
Like, because they actually had them in the White House.
Right.
If you remember, they
I'm
said
just
30
saying.
people went to one event and they all got
I'm
COVID.
just saying, but no one came back and said, hey, you know what, Johnny, I'm pretty sure I was cleansing with that guy and I got the COVID. So my point is there's ways to kind of mitigate it and to work through it.
We just got to get better at it.
We got to get better.
One
at
thing
it
is
and
this,
everything
look,
like this. Yes, right.
I've been shaking people's hands because everyone's shaking.
Yeah.
We should stop. The Japanese don't do that.
Yeah, we're not.
They
gonna
don't do it
stop.
because of COVID.
Right, I get it.
That became a custom, but I
Right.
guarantee you it was.
Right.
Oh, Johnny, good to see
Right,
you.
yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
you got 300 million people living on a little
Yeah,
island.
Yeah.
You can't be spreading disease.
Right.
Now, as far as
A
these
lot of them wear
masks,
masks too.
they did it before COVID.
Yes, that's what I'm
They
saying.
did it
wear
as
masks.
part of their
How you doing?
culture.
All right,
If
good.
you catch a cold,
Right.
out of politeness to protect me and everybody
Sure.
else, you wear a mask.
Right.
That's the way the Japanese did it.
Right.
It wasn't because I don't want to
Right.
catch colds in the subway, so I'm going to wear a mask.
Right.
No, they did it for each other, and so they don't say it's my right not to
Right.
wear it.
Yeah, no.
Look, let me ask you: these
Right.
people who said it's my right not to wear a mask.
Right.
When you go to a stop sign, you stop, don't you?
Yes. It's the
You
level
stop.
of- it's about respect.
The other person you're going to cause wrecks. It can cause other
Exactly.
danger to others.
Right.
Don't think it's about me and my rights.
But
I don't have the right
Right.
to drive through a red sign,
Right.
and I don't have the right to.
But Don, I'm going
risk
to
your
tell you
COVID.
right now. I'm going to tell you right now, though, that here's we might be a little separate on this because today I followed the rules. I did the mask and I did the temperature. I did the inoculation. But today I don't want to wear a mask, right? Because I've done everything the right way. Everything they say. I believe in science.
Well, here's
Hold
the
on.
thing, though.
I believe in science.
There is a small chance,
I understand.
very small,
Very-
that you could spread it. Still.
I will take that small. I'm
No,
inoculated.
somebody
I
else will
believe in
catch
the
it.
science.
You're going to take the chance for
Yes.
them, though.
I believe in the science.
You can still pass it.
I
Though.
understand, but I believe in the science. So if they tell me that the science, right, protects me, right, if I was to get inoculated, right, and I have, right, then if they say no longer you have to wear a mask.
Okay,
I'm not
let
wearing a mask.
me play devil's
Let's go,
advocate.
let's go, let's
Here's
go.
the thing:
Johnny Davis Live, real talk, real solutions.
the mask is
Right.
not to
Right.
protect you; it's to protect me from you. So
Right.
you could conceivably spread the virus, but not get sick by
I
it.
totally understand it.
And
Totally
that's what
understand it. But I've
that's
gone
why
through- but
Fauci
I've
still
gone
wears
through-
a mask.
I know, but I've
because a
gone through the
Republican said
process.
to Fauci wears a mask.
Yes.
he should know.
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
He's the
And I
scientist.
believe in him. I like
That's
him,
why I'm
but he's
doing
not
what
one
he
of
does.
them.
He
Right.
does it. He says, I don't wear this for myself.
Right.
I've been vaccinated.
Right.
I'm wearing it for you.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Because
And
he can still pass the virus.
Right.
They say you can carry it in your system, pass it,
Right.
but yet you won't get sick from it because your immune system is jacked up.
I understand.
So
Right.
if you don't care about killing somebody's
Right.
grandmother,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you may not kill an 18-year-old,
Right.
but he may take it home to his grandmother
Right.
and she'll go like that.
Right. And we understand that, and this is why I set up my program the way I did, and it was successful. No one out of a thousand
Good,
bouts,
you did the science. Yeah.
1,000 bouts, right? It went well, and so again, because I believe in science, now that I've done the right way, I'm at a more of a comfortable spot now.
Nobody's trying to take your
Right,
rights
right.
away.
So I'm saying, no, I don't
When
care.
they say,
but what I'm saying, but
I'm
if I walk
forcing
into
you
a
to wear a
store-
mask,
right,
you're
but
not
if I say, but they put me in if I walk into a restaurant and they say wear a mask, I'm just put it on. I don't have a problem with it, right? But otherwise, for right now, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with not wearing one because I did it the right way. Anyway, we know we can get on talk about that. But as we close out here, what are your expectations for this weekend's event with all this meeting all the fighters, presenting all the fighters with championship belts?
Well, I
and
expect it's
everything?
going to be like what I've done in the past, which
Yes.
is great competitions.
Right,
A lot of sportsmanship.
right,
You don't see cussing, complaining about judges and
Right,
decisions and
right.
things. We don't. Now you will say that. I've seen it in boxing matches before.
right.
But
Yeah.
But I think the
Right.
fans are martial arts fans,
Right.
and they'll respect the judges more
Right.
than I said. Other events type
Right.
amateur competitions. Because it's decisions, right?
Right.
If you don't have a knockout,
Sure.
it's decision. People don't like the decision.
Right.
There's gonna be booing and things like that. And I don't expect to see
No,
that.
we
I haven't
don't
seen
know.
that
You
yet.
won't see that.
I haven't
Best
seen that.
advice to the fighters this weekend.
Keep your hands up, your chin down, defense first, and good luck. Good luck.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. All right, you just heard it there from the one and the only Don the Dragon Wilson, guys. We're here in Orlando, Florida at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. We got real today. Johnny Davis Live, real talk, real solutions, guys. It was a lot of fun here. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again real soon at Johnny Davis Live. I'm checking out. Bye-bye.